Habang bumababa po ang mga kaso sa Kalakang, Maynila, marami na nag-aabang kung babalik na ba ang mga laro dito po sa big city. Panahon na ba para ibalik ang fans at ano ang impact nito sa mga liga katulad ng PBA, MPBL, pati na ang mga collegiate leagues. Yan po ang ating pag-uusapan sa ating tema ngayon sa inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Di paano? Bango na! Power and play na! Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Nagbabalik po ang inyong paboritong Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, and of course ang Cherry Tigo. It's fun to drive. Kinakamusta po natin lahat ng ating mga tagapakinig sa Radyo 5 92.3 News FM. Magandang umaga sa lahat po ng mga bumabiyahe, sa lahat po ng mga security guards, sa mga emergency room, lahat po ng mga nanonood sa atin through 1PH on Signal TV, sa kanilang mga tanggapan, sa mga tahanan po. Magandang umaga, kalagitnaan na ng Nobyembre ha. At ang kaso po natin sa COVID virus ay dahan-dahan nang bumababa. Although kahapon, nagtala tayo ng mga 5.5% positivity rate. Medyo tumaas ng konti. Pero malaki pa rin po ang pag-asa na pababa na ang ating mga kaso. Kaya patuloy po tayong mag-iingat. Binabati rin po natin lahat ng ating mga kaibigan at mga suki sa Facebook Lives ng 1PH, ng Radyo 5, and of course, ng Power and Play. Sabi ko nga, ang tema po ngayon, babalik na kaya ang mga laro dito sa Metro Manila dahil nagpaplano na ang PBA ng kanilang 3x3 League, nagpaplano na sila ng pagbabalik ng Governor's Cup, and of course, yung pong ibang liga, MPBL, naglalaro pa rin ang iba't ibang mga liga na professionals. Ang soccer, nagsimula na rin o magsisimula na rin. And of course, yung pong napipintong pagbubukas ng mga collegiate leagues. Mamaya pag-uusapan po yan natin kasama ng ating mga bisita, mga veteranong sports analysts, Quinito Henson and Dominic Uy. Makakausap din po natin mamaya ang commissioner ng MPBL o ng Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League. Walang iba kundi si Commissioner Kenneth Captain Marbel Duremdes. And ang isang special interview po natin mamaya ay ang makakatunggali ni World Bantamweight Champion Nonito Donaire sa December 11 dyan po sa California. Si Reymart Gaballo, kababayan din po natin, Pilipino na ngayon ay undefeated at number 1 rank ng WBC sa Bantamweight Division ang makakalaban ni Donaire. All Filipino finals or ika nga championship fight. At siya po ay ating mga kasama live from Miami maya-maya lamang. And then of course, pagdating sa Fast Take, naku, special na mga bisita, mga kaibigan at mga kasama natin sa broadcast team ng PBA, si Anthony Sontay at si Alan Gregorio. So, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa usapan, sa huntahan ngayong umagang ito. And of course, simulan natin sa pamamagitan ng ating mga board ng Sports Weekly Highlights. Gumawa ng kasaysayan si Saul Canelo Alvarez bilang unang undisputed super middleweight champion. Na-unify ni Canelo ang belt sa weight class matapos ang 11th round TKO kontra Caleb Plant sa MGM Grand Arena sa Las Vegas, Nevada. Si Alvarez ang pang-anim na boksingero na sabay-sabay na hawakan ang IBF, WBC, WBA at WBO belts. Lipat tayo sa NBA. Nasuspindi ng isang laro si Nikola Jokic ng Denver Nuggets matapos gantihan at binangga habang nakatalikod si Markieff Morris. $50,000 fine naman ang sinampal sa Miami Heat forward na nagpasimuno ng gulo matapos ang hard foul sa reigning MVP. Maging ang kakambal ni Markieff na si Marcus nagkainitan online sa mga kapatid naman ni Jokic. Pambihira, family affair ha? Inaasahan na ang mainit na bakbakan, rematch ito ng Heat at Nuggets sa November 30. Puntahan natin ang matinding pasabog ng linggo ito sa PBA. Tinraid ng San Miguel Beermen ang long-time forward nilang si Arwind Santos. Pinadala ng Beermen ang 2013 MVP sa Northport, Batanguer, kapalit ni Vic Manuel. 12 taon naglaro para sa SMB si Spider-Man kung saan naging parte siya ng siyam na championships ng SMB. Aminado si San Miguel coach Leo Austria na masakit ang desisyon na ipamigay si Arwind pero kailangan na daw ng pagbabago sa team. Isa pang malaking balita sa PBA, niluwagan na ng liga ang Phil Foreigner Rules. Kung dati katakot-takot na papeles at clearance ang kailangan mula Department of Justice at Immigrations, ngayon, Philippine passport na lang ang requirement sa mga gustong magpa-draft. Dinagdagan din ang Phil-Foreign limit kada team. Mula 5, ginawa na nilang 7. Lipat tayo sa buhatan. Kinumpirma ni Samahang Weightlifting ng Pilipinas President Monico Puentevilla na hindi lalaban sa 2021 World Championships si Heidelin Diaz. Ayon sa ilang mga report, nag-skip muna sa tournament ang Olympics gold medalist at ang bagong kasal dahil kukulangin daw siya sa preparasyon. 4 na weightlifter ang ipapadala ng Pilipinas sa Worlds na gaganapin sa Uzbekistan sa susunod na buwan. Pangungunahan ito ni Tokyo Olympian Elrin Ando, ang Philippine team. Good luck, girls! And of course, the billiards. Wagi na naman abroad si Carlo Biado matapos ang panalo sa Abu Dhabi 9-Ball Championship. Naghari sa All-Filipino Final si Biado matapos talunin ang kababayang si Jordan Banares 13-6. Unbeaten sa buong tournament si Biado na nag-uwi ng 272,000 pesos worth ng prize money. At yan po ang mga bod ng ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku, yung malaking balita of course dyan ay yung pagkaka-trade kay Arwind Santos. Bago yan, congratulations kay Carlo Biado. Na-interview natin siya dito. Ipambihira ang kanyang kwento and talagang masayang-masaya tayo para sa kanya na patuloy ang kanyang tagumpay patapos na manalo siya dun sa US 9-Ball Open Championships. Kaya ito po kanyang pagkapanalo sa Abu Dhabi ay nagsisimento ng kanyang lugar bilang isa sa pinakamagaling na billiards players today. Alright, nabanggit ko nga yung kay Arwind Santos na trade. Yan po ang pasabog at yan din po ang ating pupulsuhan. Dahil hindi pa daw tapos ang San Miguel Beermen sa revisa o ika nga pagbalasa ng kanilang lineup. May balita na si Alex Cabagnot, yung pong veteranong 38-year-old guard ng San Miguel, ay ititrade na rin sa terra firma kapalit ni Simon Enciso at saka ni Roosevelt Adams. Talagang patuloy po ang balasa noong lineup at nung kinakatakutan nung araw na tinatawag na Death 5 ng San Miguel na kasama po si Junmar Fajardo, si Marshall Lassiter, si Chris Ross at si Cabagnot at Santos. So ang tanong po natin at ito po ang ating pupulsuhan ngayong umagang ito mga kapatid isipin nyo na to lalong-lalo na doon sa mga fans at hindi fans ng San Miguel Beermen Dapat na nga bang buwagin, basagin at sirain yang natitira o yang Death 5 ng San Miguel Beermen na nagbigay sa kanila ng katakot-takot na championship and of course 5 sunod na Philippine Cup Championship. Dapat na bang buwagin yung Death 5 ng San Miguel Beermen? Kung gusto niyo po makisama sa ating talakayan, mag-text lamang sa 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-comment sa Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa Facebook ng 1PH at Radyo 5. Maganda pong usapin yan dahil alam niyo po, siyempre ang team kailangan patuloy na nag-i-improve. Hindi pwedeng tumigil. Nakikita natin, 2 sunod na Philippine Cup, hindi po pumasok ang San Miguel sa championship o sa finals. So, nag-iisip na ang pamunuan, of course, ng team kung dapat na nga at sinimulan na nila with Arwind, may balita kay Cabagnot, meron pa bang palabas? Hindi po natin malalaman. Pero ang tanong panahon na ba Kasi meron pang ilalabas yung dalawa eh. Pero tama na ba na siguro bitawan na natin yung Death 5 na yan? Yan po ang ating pupulsuhan at mamaya maririnig nyo ang inyong mga komentaryo. Alright, siyempre, as we go on with the show, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa ating mga bisita. Mamaya marami tayong makakausap ha. Pero dito sa segment ng Fast Take, maswerte ako dahil ang aking mga kaibigan ang makakasama natin dito. Mga veteranong sports analysts, sports commentators, and of course, involved sa mundo ng palakasan. Walang iba kundi ang dating assistant coach ng Gilas Pilipinas and of course, sports commentator, si Alan Gregorio at ang aking kaibigan, sports analyst, golf enthusiast, Anthony Suntay. Magandang umaga. Ito po ang Fast Take, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Tigo. And of course, we welcome back Anthony Suntay and Alan Gregorio.
Hello, Kom. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear. Loud and clear. Thank you so much for joining us. Ito si Tonyo, magkasama lang kami kahapon ito. It was really good to see you yesterday. O siya nga pala, I'd like to say hello and I'd like to greet yung mga kasama natin kahapon, Anthony. Ang mga grupo ng Japan Tobacco Inc. Philippines, si GM John Freda, si Mildred Sabare, Director for Communications, Dennis Gadil, Communications Manager, and of course, ang aking nakasama, si Robert Eugenio, Director for Government Relations. Magandang umaga. Fun golf yesterday, Anthony, and it was great to see you.
Yes, definitely. It was great seeing you, Kom, and it was great seeing our friends from JTI. Maraming salamat sa pag-golf niyo kahapon. At saka syempre yung little fellowship na naganap pagkatapos nun.
And siyempre, thank you kay Jera Season, ang ating kaibigan, for making this all possible. Iniintay pa natin si Coach Alan Gregorio. But Anthony, let me go to yung aking pinupulsuhan ngayong araw na to. Binasag na yung lineup ng San Miguel with Arwind being traded. Cabagnot seems like he's on his way out. Do you think it's time? Panahon na ba? Para wakasan na yung Death 5 na kinatakutan ng napakaraming team sa PBA?
If you look at it, I would have felt that they could have done another year at least, at the very least. Pero at the same time, sabi nga nila, kung tutusin mo, kung gagayahin nila yung ginawa ng Boston Celtics sa NBA na parang medyo huli na sila bago sila nakapag-revamp ng kanilang mga lineups. So, maybe from their point of view, it did seem like it was the right time. For the fans, there will never be a right time. Dahil syempre, mahal nila si Cabagnot, mahal nila si Arwind Santos, marami sila nabigyan ng championship, but that's really the life of a basketball player and that's the life cycle of a basketball team. Talagang pagkatapos ng sinasabi mo, may expiration date ka kahit papaano. And that's exactly what's happened. So, if you really look at it, maybe it might be the right time. But ako, personally, dun sa pwede pa ibigay ni Arwind Santos, especially after he had a very, very solid last conference, Noli, sa tingin ko I think they would have been able to do it one more year bago nila buwagin yung team. Pero, as far as they were concerned, siguro they felt it was now or never. Gawin na nila ngayon, let's bite the bullet. Yun na nga yung ginawa nila. But sila lang naman talaga makakasagot doon. But personally, if you ask me, I would have given it maybe just one more year.
Let's face it, kaya lang naman sila hindi nakapasok ng kampyonato ng Philippine Cup in the last 2 seasons. One was the bubble conference in Clark and this one in Pampanga. Dahil ang dami nilang injury. Nakita natin yung mga nangyari kay Junma. He did not play too much in the bubble conference. And of course, dito sa Philippine Cup. Ayun, medyo marami silang kapansanang ininda. But when you look at that lineup, when you have Terence Romeo, nandiyan pa si Mo Tautua, nandiyan pa si CJ Perez, Bon Pesumal, loaded yung team na yan. Ito, mukhang nakikita na natin si Coach Alan Gregorio. But again, as I was saying, it's really something that management will have to look at. It may be a good decision, especially if they're getting some young pieces back sa kanilang lineup. Hindi natin pinag-uusapan ang validity o yung galing ng trade na yan because that's another topic. We're only talking about whether we are going to break up this Death 5 ng San Miguel. Before I go to the fast take issues, Anthony, ikaw, you are on the ground, you are covering the PBA games. Ibang-iba ang walang fans sa arena. What is your take? What is your sense of this na sana makabalik ang fans? And of course, how much of an impact is that para sa mga players and para sa liga?
Ang malaking bagay mga fans. I mean, the league is here and the league is alive, the PBA is still here because of the fans. And you can just see the impact that it had on the NBA. Nakita natin yung nangyari sa Bubble Championship na napanalunan ng Los Angeles Lakers. And then you can see the different vibe and excitement na talagang dinudulot ng mga fans. Of course, we also have to be able to balance between trying to stay safe, following IATF regulations. And syempre, para sa atin, more than anything else, health is wealth. So we do want the fans back, but we have to do it gradually. I mean, I was very surprised at what the United States did. I mean, nakita natin yung NBA, punong-puno na yung kanilang mga stadiums. And a lot of them are not wearing face masks. And so, para sa akin, medyo nakakatakot pa rin kahit papano. Because, sabi ko nga, talagang para sa akin, safety should be priority. But, it's good to also be able to get the fans back. Ngayon, nasa level 2 na tayo, alert level 2. Sa tingin ko, we can start to have fans, maybe at 30% capacity at the most. Katulad ng ginagawa ng Bilog sa Japan, at 50% capacity ng stadium. So every other seat, nakikita natin, bakante naman. So I think if we do those guidelines, if we follow those guidelines and pattern, sa tingin ko, we can start to bring and ask the fans to come back. And definitely from the players' point of view, pag nakita nila yung mga fans na nagsisigawan, naghihiyawan, kahit kalahati lang ng stadium, Noli, okay na yun.
Iba talaga yun. And of course, nagbukas na ang mga sinihan. So obviously, pinapayagan na ng pamahalaan ang panonood, mga entertainment shows. The PBA is entertainment, basketball is entertaining, and of course, ang kailangan lang yan, and I agree with you, kailangan lang talaga maging very, very diligent pagdating sa mga safe health protocols. Siguro, even yung vaccination, mahalaga para sa mga fans, para manood. It's one way for the PBA to encourage people to get vaccinated.
Correct. That's a good point.
And of course, kailangan din natin siguraduhin na lahat ng mga kalahok sa PBA ay vaccinated as well. Alam mo, si Coach Alan is coming from Ternate, Cavite, so medyo siguro nahihirapan siya pumasok. So we'll try to get him later. But in the meantime, eto na tayo sa Fast Take, Anthony.
Sure.
I will give you one-on-one on this. Alam naman natin, ang Fast Take, usapang mabilis. Ang importante, ang opinion mo. And of course, dito, pato-pato sa langit. Tamaan, wag pong magagalit. Walang mali, walang tama. Here's our first Fast Take issue of the morning. Ito nga yung PBA, itong pag-uusapan natin. Nag-relax na ang rules ng PBA pagdating sa Phil foreigners. In fact, niluwagan na nila. Ano ang iyong masasabi, Anthony, biglang pagluwag ng Phil foreign rule sa PBA? I'll give you 1 minute. Go!
Well, finally, at least it happened. Matagal na natin talaga pinagdadasal na mangyari yun. At yun na nga, pinagbigyan na tayo ng PBA. The fans have been asking for it. And, it's been a long time coming. The rule was in place at the time wherein it really had to be because marami nga mga sinasabi natin mga peke. But then, I guess, with the advent of social media right now, and, information is all over right now, hindi na masyado natin kailangan yung gano'n ka-stringent na mga rules. And, it would have been nicer if they were able to relax the rules, Noli, a little earlier. Dahil syempre, kung nangyari yun, we'll have the guys like Jason Brickman playing here. And we wouldn't have lost him to the Taiwan League. But then at the end of the day, everything has been said and done. Magandang sitwasyon na at least nakita na natin makakapaglaro na yung mga magagaling natin mga field foreign players. So it's a very, very welcome development for the fans, for the PBA, and for the teams in general.
Well, I totally agree. It's time. I've been espousing that. Sabi ko, kailangan na talaga luwagan. The PBA has to be competitive. The PBA
Correct.
has to compete. The PBA has to open up its borders, and they have finally done that. Ang akin lang, again, and I remember tweeting this, I said that yung rule ng Phil foreigners nung araw served its purpose. Kasi nung araw, maraming gulo. Tatandaan mo yan, Anthony, there was a tug of war between the local players saying that nawawalan kami ng trabaho. On the other hand, ayun, si Coach Alan. Coach Alan, naririnig mo na ba kami? Coach?
Yeah. Loud and clear.
Loud and clear.
Umaga sa inyo. I like the topic. Go ahead.
Magandang umaga, Coach Alan, mga kaibigan. Coach Alan Gregorio, matagal ko nakasama to sa Gilas, Pilipinas. And of course, he's very, very involved in the PBA. He is now with NLEX. And he's also a veteran sportscaster, sports analyst. And I'm going to the first Fast Take issue, Coach. Alam mo na to, ngayon na masasabi natin na biglang nagluwag ang mga rules ng foreigners para sa PBA. Ano sa tingin mo ang impact nito? Ano masasabi mo? I'll give you 1 minute. Go!
Well, this is one of the things that's really exciting me. This what Anthony said about Rickmans. I'm talking about the Ganuelas roster being able to play already in the PBA. Medyo pinagawa ang narinig na
Medyo naiipit yung signal talaga ni Coach Alan. But anyway, we're very thankful that he's really trying to get into the coverage. Coach, relax ka lang. Talaga natin kung maaayos natin ang signal mo. But again, as I was saying, I hope they just find a balance here dito sa rule na to dahil there are many things that have to be addressed. I like it. I just hope na hindi maabuso. I also hope na maintindihan ng lahat na ito ay pagkakataon para sa PBA na lalo pang lumago. I'll go to the second fast take issue of the morning, Anthony. Still with the PBA. Ito ay tungkol sa naganap na trade ni Arwind and of course, naganap na trade between Ginebra with Onwubere, moving on from Northport as well, kapalit ni Art de la Cruz. But kung ikaw tatanong, ano ang PBA trade suggestion mo na makakatulong sa kampanya or rebuild ng ilang PBA teams? I'll give you 1 minute, Anthony. Go!
Okay, if you look at it, marami tayong mga pwede pag-usapan, but then I'd like to be able to focus on two teams in general, no? Number one, NLEX, a team that I've enjoyed covering the past conference because nakita natin yun that they play with so much grit and, confidence and determination. Kaso lang talaga kulang talaga sila ng big man. They did have a big man in Poy Aram, but unfortunately, they lost him in a trade. And so I think for them to be really competitive and for them to be able to vie for a title, if they can find some way to be able to get a big man, nothing against Miranda, nothing against Soyud, they're very good backup big men. But then they need actually a very strong, yung talagang number one that can complement yung kanilang forward na si JR Kinyahan. And if they're able to shore up that hole in the middle doon sa kanila, I think they're going to be a very competitive team. They're very well coached, and I think they can vie for the championship. Isa lang, they need to be able to trade for a big man dito para sa NLEX. Kom.
Parang meron kang tinutukoy, Anthony. Mukhang magandang ilagay doon si Bo Belga. Ewan ko lang kung makukuha nila yun sa rain or shine. Pero
Pwede.
Kasaysayan si Coach Yeng Diao at saka si Bo Belga. And
Exactly.
you know how Bo Belga operates. He's a big man who can stretch the floor and he's a tough defender. Plus, of course, he brings a lot of leadership to that team.
Correct.
All right. Let's go to our third and final issue of the morning, although we're still trying to get Coach Alan here. And this is still about the PBA at ang kanilang naging desisyon na sumama or sumali na doon sa East Asia Super League. Yung pong liga kung saan iba't ibang mga bansa na may mga professional basketball leagues ay lalahok. So ang tanong, ano ang impact, Anthony, ng pagsali ng PBA sa EASL at ang pagpapasok muli ng possible Asian imports para sa mga local players natin? May impact ba yan? And how will that be? Is it positive or negative? I'll give you 1 minute, Anthony. Go!
Well, it's going to have a very big impact. Talagang kailangan sumali tayo sa EASL. Kung hindi tayo sumali nun, that would have been a mortal sin for the PBA and of course for Philippine basketball because we want to be able to showcase our brand of basketball around Asia. We want to be able to set ourselves beside China, Korea, and Japan. Now, pag hindi tayo nakasali doon, masakit talaga yung para sa Philippine basketball. So it's very good na sumali tayo. Now, in terms of the Asian imports, tayo naman talaga nakapag-umpisan yan. And I think, to have them back, just like what's happening in Japan, ang dami mga Filipino fans na sumusunod ngayon sa B-League because of that. And then the Taiwan League is actually doing that as well. And eventually, ang pagkaalam ko, Korea will also relax their rules. They're going to allow Filipinos to be able to play there in Korea as well because they want to be able to broaden their horizons. They want to be able to widen their audience base, and that's going to happen also. And it happened already before doon sa ginawa natin sa PBA. So pag binalik nila yung mga Asian imports, malaking tulong na naman yun para sa pag-enhance ng PBA.
All right. Well, I totally agree with you. I remember yung Asian imports idea came from the brother of Coach Alan Gregorio, si Patrick Gregorio, when he was chairman of the board together with Commissioner Chito Salud
Yes.
back in 2013, I believe, somewhere along that time. Ako naniniwala ako doon sa yung category na yon, Asian import. Pero isa lang aking gusto sabihin, sana wag lang isang komperensya. Sana yan ay palaruin nila buong taon. Alam mo, hindi naman natin tinatawag na All-Filipino Conference na. We call it the Philippine Cup. And an Asian import is parang ano na rin yan ka-level natin yan. So ako, para maging attractive ang PBAs dyan sa mga Asian import, gawin nilang buong taon, i-roster nila, put one spot as an Asian import, parang ginagawa ng B-League, ginagawa ng
Yes.
Thailand, eventually even Korea. On the EASL, ako, I agree with you, Anthony. Mortal sin talaga. Because the PBA is Asia's first player
Exactly.
league. Imposible na hindi tayo dapat kasama dyan. We always say that we are the best league in Asia. Dapat kasama tayo sa mga katulad na laban na ganyan. Well,
Alam mo, Kom, putting it in another way, hindi tayo pwede magpahuli. Because,
Tama.
sabi mo nga, we're the first league, in the first professional league in Asia. So, dapat tayo parati nangingibabaw. We should be always setting the bar, setting the tone of how sports should be played, how basketball should be played here in the region. Pero medyo nakikita natin, medyo nahuhuli nga tayo ng konti. So, it's about time that we get to be one of the front runners once again.
well, medyo nakukuha natin si Coach Alan dito. Coach Alan, pero ang problema talagang naipit. I'll give you just one final say dito, Coach Alan. What do you think is alam mo, sabi ko nga, ewan ko, tingnan natin kung makuha. Coach Alan, narinig mo ba ako?
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me? Okay lang ba?
I can hear you. I'll give you this one take. I remember this Asian import thing. Galing ito kay Pato, your brother, and of course, you were very much part of the Gilas program, and alam mo kung anong impact ng mga Asian players. What do you think of this para sa PBA?
Yeah, we talk about Sam Douglas. We talk about Michael Madanli. The talent is really something that the Filipinos have been looking forward to. The level of play will be very much welcome. And when we have these kinds of imports na showcase din yung galing ng mga Asians. This is something that we are looking forward to. And the world basketball has really been improving the past decade. We saw it coming. We were part of the Gilas program, Kom, and we know for a fact that the technology for basketball is already there because of the great coaches that are coaching the Asian teams nowadays.
Alam mo, ito si Coach Alan, ang daming very good insights. It's just unfortunate na naubusan tayo ng oras because we were trying to get Alan here on the show. But Coach, kailangan mangako ka na babalik ka sa show. Yung,
I promise.
Talagang
we will
buo.
prepare.
Ayan,
Anthony, babalik tayo.
Yan ang gusto ko marinig sa inyong dalawa.
Okay, Kom, have a good day.
Yes, maraming salamat Coach Alan and Anthony Suntay for joining us today sa Fast Take. We will see you again soon dito sa Power and Play. Maraming salamat.
Thank you.
Yan po
See
mga
you,
kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan, Anthony Suntay and Alan Gregorio, mga veterano, mga batikan, na mga sports analysts ng PBA. It's just too bad that si Coach Alan, we kind of missed his dahil nagkakaproblema tayo kanina sa technical. Enjoy Internate Cavite, Coach Alan, and say hello to Tita. Miss na miss ko na kayong lahat. Alright mga kaibigan, we'll take a quick break sa aming pong pagbabalik. Makakausap natin ang WBC Interim Bantamweight Champion Reymart Gaballo dito po sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex. you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Isang belated happy birthday sa aking kapatid na si Shelly Eala. Happy birthday, sister. I hope you enjoyed your birthday. Bago po natin ipasok ang ating susunod na panauhin, ipasok muna natin ang ating trending viral video sa mundo ng palakasan sa ating Stop and Pop. Ang tawag po natin dito sa susunod nating Stop and Pop moment ay cold shooting, malamig na shooting. Panoorin po nito ha. Literal po na malamig ang shooting ng mga bagets dahil ang gamit nilang bola ay snow. Cold din ang shooting nila dahil walang makapasok sa mga tira. At yung isa pang kuya, abay, nagsubok pa, panoorin nyo sa dulo ha. Magsusubok pa na i-dribble yung snow. Ayan o, boom! Hindi na tumalbog. Siyempre, hindi yan tatalbog dahil snow. Ang mga shooters talaga kapag walang bola, kahit ano na lang ang maibato sa hoop. Pero yan ay ang pagmamahal sa basketball kahit malamig sa ating Stop and Pop. Alright mga kaibigan, ang susunod po nating panauhin ay ang kasalukuyang WBC Interim Bantamweight Champion at siya po ay naghahanda na para sa kanyang pinakamalaking laban sa kanyang career. Ang laban niya kay Nonito Donaire. Ang ating pong mga kasama ngayon ay si Reymart Gaballo live from Miami. Magandang araw, Reymart.
Hello po, magandang umaga po sa inyo dyan, sir, sa Pinas po.
Maraming salamat sa iyong pagsama sa amin ngayong umagang ito. Reymart, alam ko na ikaw ay talagang busy. So para sa iyong laban kay Nonito Donaire on December 11 dyan sa California. Gaano ka ka-excited, Reymart, dito sa napipintong mong laban? Lalong-lalo na at ang makakalaban mo ay isang pambihirang kampiyon katulad ni Nonito Donaire.
Kagaya po ng Migo, baka peso. Gracias. Kagaya po ng sinabi ko po, sir, like excited po talaga ako sa paparating na laban namin kasi po isa po sa iniidolo ko po sa boxing nung maliit pa po ako. Yun po.
Si Nonito ba, sinasabi mo nga, idolo mo,
Apo.
ano yan? Talaga nung bata ka pa, sinusundan mo na ba ang career ni Nonito? At anong masasabi mo sa kanya bilang isang kampiyon?
Ano po talaga, magaling po talaga, tsaka yung power dyan. Kaya sa laban po, mag-iingat po talaga ako sa sa mga setup. Kaya gagawin ko po talaga lahat para yun po, maganda.
Sabi ni Nonito, and I quote yung sa kanyang mga interview, Reymart, sabi niya, ikaw daw ay very talented, good record at gutom, hungry, delikado, very, very dangerous. Tama ba sinabi niya? Totoo ba yun?
Ah, Siyempre naman po, sir, kagaya nga po ng ano ko po, palagi po sa pinupush ko po yung sarili ko po sa training para po maganda yung kakalabasan sa laban po. Yun po, ano.
At sa tingin mo naman, ano ang panganib o ano yung galing ni Nonito na iniingatan mo? Asan ka concerned dun sa fighting style ni Nonito Donaire?
Ano po talaga, sa mga sa mga tinitignan ko po ng mga laban, like dati pa po, yung makapag-set up po siya ng kanyang left hook.
Mm.
Yun po talaga yung yung pinaka mas na iniingatan ko na ano.
Concerned ka ba? Talagang napakaraming karanasan. You are going into your 25th fight, 24 victories, wala kang talo, undefeated, 20 knockouts. Lalaban ka kay Nonito na 13 years older than you. Sa tingin mo ba yung experience ni Nonito ay malaking plus para sa kanya o yan ay maka-counter mo dahil mas fresh ikaw?
Ewan ko po sir, pero sir, para sa akin sa laban po sir, gagawin ko po talaga yung lahat na ano ko po, lahat ng best ko para sa laban. Prosigido naman po ako sa bawat training na ginagawa ko na maganda yung kondisyon ko sa bawat araw.
Alright.
Kaya sa ano sir, sa laban na yan, maganda yung sana maganda yung ano, kakalabasan.
Alam mo, nakita kita napanood ko yung mga laban mo, yung kay yung sa hapon, dyan sa Midas Hotel. Yakamura ba yun o Nakamura?
Nakamura po yun sir, Nakamura.
Nakita ko ang lakas ng suntok mo, parehong kamay, kanan at kaliwa. So talagang, and of course, napanood ko yung mga highlights ng laban mo kay Rodriguez and talaga namang meron kang taglay na galing. So pinag-usapan natin ang training, Reymart. Kamusta ang timbang? Ikaw ba ay eksakto o tama-tama at on pace para makuha mo ang timbang mo?
Opo naman sir. Sa ngayon sir, ang timbang ko po di naman masyadong malaki. Like after training po tumitimbang po ako ng 127.4 pounds lagi po. So
Lapit-lapit na.
hindi
Mga pounds na lang, mga ganun.
hindi man po ako masyadong nahihirapan sa pagkukuha ko ng timbang sa mga laban ko po.
So sakto lang talaga sa iyo bantamweight. Now, nasang stage ka na ng training mo ngayon? Kasi may isang buwan pa bago sa laban mo. So nasang kang area na? Ikaw ba ay pababa na o pataas pa lang ang training mo dyan sa Miami?
Bale dito po sir, si coach ko po parang maintain po muna ngayon sir kasi nakadepende na po sa kanya yung ano ko, training. Isa po siyang si Coach Moro, Cuban po. So nakadepende na po sa kanya kung ano po yung training ko. Basta yung ginagawa ko po sir, kung kinukulang ako sa training, nagdadagdag talaga ako para mas maganda yung condition ko po.
Saan ang focus ngayon ng training mo? Sa stamina, sa footwork, sa depensa, sa lakas? Saan ka nakafocus ngayon sa huling buwan ng paghahanda?
Sa ngayon po sir, nakafocus po kami sa depensa namin at saka stamina. Yun po ang yun po yung iniensayo namin sa gym. Yun po.
Sabi mo, ang coach mo ay isang Cuban, si Coach Moro. Gaano kagaling ang coach? At anong natututunan mo sa kanya?
Yung mga technique po talaga. Kasi po, si Coach Moro po naging trainer po siya ni Gamboa at saka ni Regundo before. Dito po.
So medyo kilala din niya si Nonito ng konti, ha?
Kaya nga po sir.
Oo. Alright. pagdating sa mga sparring, ikaw ba ay patuloy na nagsasparring? Nakakailang rounds ka na? At sino ang mga nakaka-sparmates mo, Reymart?
Um, Lately po, yung mga nakasparing ko, yung IBO World Champion po. Yung, hindi ko po nalimutan ko yung pangalan. He's a Venezuelan po, sir.
Okay. So yan ang sparring mate mo ngayon?
Opo. Minsan po, ano po kasi sir dumadayo po kami sa iba-ibang gym dito sa Miami. So, hindi ko po minsan kilala yung mga boxer na pinapa-sparring ni coach sa akin. So, sparring lang po ako. Yun lang po.
Hindi ka naman kumbaga, nangungulila sa Pilipinas, dyan sa Miami. Ayos naman ang sitwasyon mo dyan.
Okay naman po. Meron naman po ako mga kasama ng mga Pinoy. Sila, Romero Duno, Mike Plania, Mark Bertrand Bernaldez, at saka si Moralde po. John Vincent Moralde.
So hindi ka naman, kumbaga, naiinip, hindi ka naman nagkakaroon ng problema dyan. Alright, talking about problema, alam naman natin, andyan pa rin ang banta ng COVID. In fact, sa Amerika, medyo tumataas na naman ang kaso. Ikaw ba nababahala dito? Kasi marami na tayo nakitang laban, Reymart, na natigil o hindi natuloy dahil nagkaroon ng COVID. So paano ang pag-iingat mo, Reymart, dito sa banta ng COVID?
Ganun pa rin, sir. Patuloy pa rin kami na sumusunod sa mga batas, sir. Like, mag-mask kami kung lalabas po. Ganyan po yun, sir.
Oo. Patuloy ang testing. Patuloy ang pag-check ng mga pumapasok sa gym. Ganun ba yun?
Opo, sir.
Oo.
Ganyan.
Alright. Alam mo, hindi marami ang nasusulat tungkol sa'yo. Although, alam namin ang record mo sa boxing. Kaya medyo tanungin kita lang ng konting personal na mga tanong. Reymart, anong edad ka ba nagsimula maglaro ng boxing?
14 or 15 po ako nag-start ng boxing po. Nag-amateur po ako sa Jensen po.
So late bloomer ka pala, hindi ka masyado maaga. Sino ang nagpakilala sa'yo sa larong boxing? Sino nakadiscover?
Bale po, nung maliit pa lang po ako, yung lolo ko po talaga mahilig sa boxing. Then, meron siyang ginawang punching bag sa likod bahay namin. Nung time na yon, yung uncle ko pumunta ng Pulomolok doon sa amin para maghanap ng itlog ng
Itlog?
gagawing yung balot.
Gagawin balot?
Opo.
Oh.
Tapos
Taka.
yung nakita yung yung tawag nito, bagingan sa bahay ng lolo ko sa likod.
Oh.
Then nagtanong yung uncle ko kung sino daw yung nagsusuntok-suntok doon sa sa bagingan. Then yun po, kinuha ko ng uncle ko kasi para may makasabay yung anak niya na pagbo-boxing.
Ano pangalan ng uncle mo, Reymart?
Uncle Buboy Gaballo po. Albert Gaballo.
Alright. Ano to, kapatid ng ina mo, ng tatay mo, o pinsan? Ano ba yan?
Pinsan po ata sila.
Pinsan ng
papa.
Alright. Ilan ba kayo sa pamilya, Reymart? Ilan kayo magkakapatid?
Bale, dalawa lang po. Ako yung panganay po, sir.
Yung kapatid mo, lalaki o babae?
Lalaki rin po.
Boksingero din ba?
Sa ngayon, sir, na lang po siya, sir. Fitness trainer po sa sa Jensen po.
Okay. So talagang nasa larangan kayo ng sports, ng palakasan, and of course, ang pamilya mo, pamula sa lolo mo hanggang sa uncle mo. Anong sinabi ng mga magulang mo na nagdesisyon kang mag-boxing? Yan ba ay katanggap-tanggap? Hindi naman sila kumbaga, nag-worry para sa iyo?
Nung una po, yung mama ko po, ayaw niya po kasi parang ayaw niya po. Pero yung papa ko po, suportado naman yung papa ko po. Katagalan, yung mama ko naman, pumayag din naman po.
Okay. Well, alam mo kasi talaga namang ang boxing ay naging paraan para tumawid sa mas magandang kinabukasan.
Po, sir. Nawala.
Babalik po tayo sa Power and Play. Pasensya na po at nagkaroon tayo ng technical problem. Kasama pa rin po natin ang WBC Interim Bantamweight Champion na hamon kay Nonito Donaire. Sa December 11, si Reymart Gaballo live from Miami. Reymart, medyo naputol tayo doon. But let me ask you, kasi alam natin na ikaw ay lumaki. Sabi mo nga, idolo mo si Nonito. Sino pa ang mga naging idolo mo sa paglaki mo, pagpasok mo sa boxing? Lalong-lalo na nung nagsisimula ka, kaya naging, kumbaga, yun ang ginawa mong basihan ng iyong style.
Syempre po, yun una po talaga si Idol po, Manny Pacquiao po. At saka, yun po.
Ni Manny. Ano ba ang, ikaw ay lumaki sa Jensen, ano ang nakita mo kay Senador Manny na talagang nagbigay sa iyo ng inspirasyon para mag-boxing?
Ano po talaga, yung pag hard work po niya sa training, yung gustong-gusto po talaga na ganyan. Tsaka seryoso po.
Seryoso and of course hard work ni Senador Manny. Alam mo, napakalakas mo sumuntok. Ano ba pinapakain sa iyo? Ano ba sikreto mo, Reymart? Ang lakas ng suntok mo sa kaliwat kanan and syempre nagsimula ka sa punching bag Yung sabi mo tungkol sa lolo mo. So siguro doon nagsimula ang lakas mo. But maliban doon, ano ba sikreto mo?
Ewan ko po, sir. Basta yung para sa akin, kapag nasa laban po ako, yung iniisip ko talaga, gusto ko po talaga yung masaktan yung kalaban ko po. Ganyan po.
Mahirap ka palang kasama sa sa loob ng ring, talagang gusto mo masaktan. At saka gusto mo patulugin ang mga kalaban. Yun talaga estilo mo.
Hindi naman po talaga, sir, yung nasa isip ko talaga kapag lumalaban na knockout. Ang gusto ko, para sa akin lang, sir, focus ako na masaktan yung kalaban ko sa mga suntok ko pero hindi ako nag-iisip na knockout or ganyan. Yung inisip ko aabot kami ng rounds po.
Mm-hmm. So kung maghanda ka, hindi para sa knockout at ito ay naghahanda ka for the full length of the fight, 12 rounds, 10 rounds, kung ano man yan, yun talaga ang pinaghahandaan mo. Pero kung papasok ka knockout, syempre, why not? Pero so ang tanong ko itong laban mo kay The Flash, Nonito Donaire, ikaw ba ay tingin mo ito ay mauuwi sa knockout? Whether ikaw o siya, sa tingin mo ba ganun na mangyayari diyan?
Ewan ko po, sir, pero basta po para sa para sa akin lang po, gagawin ko lang po talaga yung lahat ng best ko sa ring po. Yan lang po.
Okay. Sabi mo kanina na isang iniingatan mo yung left hook ni Nonito Donaire. Ano ang strategy mo dyan para iwasan yung napakalakas na suntok ng kampiyon?
Hindi ko po alam, sir, pero sa ring na lang po siguro kapag nasa ibabaw na po ng ring. Doon po
Ayaw mo strategy, ha?
Hindi naman po, sir. Like, lang po.
Naintindihan ko yun. Siyempre, kailangan nating itago para sa kalaban kasi kahit papano, kahit kayo ay parehong Pilipino at magkaibigan, at idolo mo siya, siyempre, laban pa rin pagdating sa loob ng ring. Yun nga tanong ko sa iyo, ikaw ba nanghihinayang na ang una mong laban for a world championship ay kapwa Pilipino pa ang makakaharap mo? Kahit pa paano mo, meron kang, sana hindi na lang?
Hindi naman po, sir, kasi naman po, sir, isa nga po, sir, like, iniidolo po ng lahat sa boxing. Hindi po lahat ng boxer na bibigyan po ng pagkakataon na makalaban yung mga iniidolo nila sa ring. Ayan po, masaya na excited na makalaban yung idol ko sa ring na world title po. So, yun po.
Alam mo, bibihira yung nagtutunggali ang dalawang Pilipino for a world championship. Yung unang-unang yan, napakatagal na. And of course, this is iilan pa lamang yan. Ano ang ibig sabihin nito para sa iyo, Reymart, na dalawa kayong Pilipino ang maglalaban at makikita ng buong mundo ang mga Pilipinong napakahusay pagdating sa boxing?
Ano po.
Do you think that it's very important para sa Philippine boxing? Mahalaga pa to para sa Philippine boxing, Reymart?
Opo naman sir, kasi ang boxing po talaga sir like sa ano po karamihan naman po talaga kapag nag-aabot talaga sa ring katulad sa mga Meksikano po Meksikano lumalaban din po sila
Okay. Well, final few questions. Dalawang huling tanong para sa iyo, Reymart. Unang-una, ito ang tinatawag natin pinakamalaking laban para sa iyo. Coming out fight mo, finally, nakakuha ka ng laban for the World Championship. Ano ang may expect ng mga fans mula sa iyo?
Ano po sir, magandang laban po ang mapapailabas ko po para sa kanila. Gagawin ko rin po lahat ng makakaya para para manalo po sa laban.
Sinabi ni Nonito na, well, ang kagandahan nito kahit papano, kahit na sino mang manalo, at least ang belt mananatili sa Pilipinas, sa Pilipino. And of course, si Nonito is 38 years old, ikaw ay 25. Ito huli kong tanong sa iyo, sa tingin mo ba, panahon na ibigay ni Nonito at isurrender na ang titulo sa iyo?
Nakadepende na po sir sa laban po talaga sir para sa akin gagawin ko po talaga ang best ko pa sa fight, and alam ko naman din po na yung idol natin nito gagawin din yung best niya para manalo din sa laban, kaya ganang laban po yung mapapalabas namin po.
Bakbakan na. Alright. Bakbakan na talaga sa December 11, Carson City, California. Abangan niyo po ang Donaire Gaballo na World WBC Bantamweight Championship of the World. Maraming salamat, Reymart. Good luck sa iyong training at lahat kami manonood sa inyong dalawa ni Nonito. Pareho kami magdadasal, of course, kaligtasan ninyong dalawa. Maraming salamat. Ingat ka dyan sa Miami.
Thank you po, sir.
Mga kaibigan, ang ating WBC Interim Bantamweight Champion of the World, si Reymart Gaballo sa Power and Play, and of course, ang kanyang very, very soft-spoken, humble, ang kanyang sinasabi, he will do his best. Alam naman natin kung gaano kagaling si Nonito the Flash Donaire, and he will not give up that belt just easily. Too much pride at stake. Pero sabi rin ni Nonito, hindi tayo kailangang mag-trash talking dito. We have to respect each other. What a wonderful champion ito si Nonito Donaire. And of course, kung yan ang susundan na yapak ni Reymart Gaballo, we have a bright future in Philippine boxing. Alright mga kaibigan, before we take a break, pasok muna natin ang ating isa pang stop and pop moment. Alright, sa ating pong stop and pop moment, ito po naman ang tinatawag, sa video nito, ang tawag po natin dito ay girl power. Bida ang girl power. Alam niyo po sa Amerika, batang pinagsisimula ng mga bata, maaga pong pinagsisimula ng mga bata sa pagiging involved sa sports. Makikita nyo dito sa video ito, itong batang ito, football po ito, usually tinatakel mo lamang yung kutsyon na yan. Ang ginawa niya po, binadislam nitong batang babaeng ito, yung kutsyon dyan sa American football. Naku, pambihira. Siguro paglaki nito, hindi ito football player, baka WWE ito. Yan po ang ating girl power na bida sa ating stop and pop moment. Galing, ang liliit pa, talagang nasa larangan na ng sports. Magbe-break po kami sa aming pagbabalik. Patuloy ang paghihimay natin sa mga issue ng sports kasama ng mga veteranong si Dominic Uy and the Dean, Quinito Henson, sa Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Ang Power and Play ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum. Yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, paano mo masasabing nakaka-enjoy i-drive ang sasakyan mo? Isa lang ang sagot ko dyan. Siyempre kapag ang minamaneho mo ay Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Luxurious ang exteriors at comfort-filled naman ang interiors. Intelligent dahil meron itong automatic tailgate opening, engine start, at climate control na pwede mong makontrol using its smart key. Perfect pa pang long drive dahil meron itong large sunroof, HD touchscreen, wireless mobile charging, at 360 around view monitoring. Pro na pro ka with the Tigo 7 Pro dahil available na rin ito for as low as 88,000 pesos all in. Hanggang 120,000 din ang cash discounts exclusive ngayong September. Open pa for free test drives kaya i-schedule mo na ang appointment sa Cherry Dealer today. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride Motorcycle Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. And it's never too early to start getting ready for the holidays. Now's the right time to plan the perfect gifts for your loved ones to avoid the holiday rush. For all your delivery needs this coming holiday season, Joyride Super App is here. Now available in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Laguna, Baguio, and soon in Bulacan. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Resto Bar Group, home of fried eating, with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery, located in Calle Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar in Poblacion, Makati. You may call 0977-157-0499 or 0966-854-4048 or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City, and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. For inquiries, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. Asea Subic Beach Resort. Power and Play would also like to thank the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls. and Likhabi, Weave by Weave, Hand in Hand. Check out their IG pages. Ang Power and Play ay hatid sa inyo na. At maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Siya nga pala, isang reminder lamang before we go to our next guest. Dun sa Elms Resto Bar Group, sila po ay magbubukas, magre-reopen sila ng kanilang restaurant dyan po sa Evergotesco in a few weeks. Elms Seafood Paluto. Naku, in a few weeks, they're reopening with a delectable seafood menu in a relaxed and casual dining atmosphere for your salo-salo seafood meal. Abangan nyo po yan, yung Elms Seafood Paluto dyan sa Evergotesco. I'd also like to thank pala yung pong Carlitos Sisig Seafood Paluto sa Shaw Boulevard. Puntahan niyo po yan. Napakasarap. They're open for dine-in and take-out from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. And of course, sila po ay napakaraming klase ng putahe, mga seafoods, mga inihaw. Sabi nga nila, swabe ang timpla, pang Pinoy at international ang lasa. Yan po ang Carlitos Sisig Seafood dyan po sa Mandaluyong. Alright, mga kaibigan, at this point, excited na tayo dahil muli natin makakasama ang ating kaibigan and of course, ang batikang mga sports analysts para himayin ang latest news sa PBA at sa mundo po ng palakasan. Walang iba kung hindi the Dean, Quinito Henson, and aking kaibigan si sports analyst Dominic Uy. Magandang pa. Quinito and Dominic, good to see you, Kinits.
Good to see you too. Kom Noli, nice to see you, Dom.
Good morning, guys. Cobb, the Dean, always a pleasure. Always, I was super excited when they asked me to join us. Like, oh, who will I be with? And they said the Dean. I was going to wear my green watch, just to be sure.
I'm not wearing green today, but my pants are green.
Oh, hindi.
Let me show you.
Okay mo?
Kita mo naman.
Ako hindi ko pwede ipakita kung ano yung green sa akin, ganito. So, you know. But Quinito, let me be quickly lang with Lasal. What's going on with Lasal? Kamusta ang Lasal team? Are they getting more players in?
Yes, we are. We have our two films already in town.
Wow.
But we're also bringing in another film. And we are hoping that we get approval already from IATF to restart our training. We know that there will be phasing. There will be individual workouts first, and then we're going to do team workouts. What I just don't like is talk going on that other teams are already training. That's really not fair. As far as our team is concerned, we're doing it by the book. If whatever IATF allows, we will do. But otherwise, we continue to just do Zoom training.
Well, mahirap yung ganon. Because unang-una, it's a violation ng IATF rules.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya, plus of course, hindi naman pwedeng hindi tinitingnan ng UAAP yan. Everybody should be put in the same playing field.
Not only that, Kom Noli, Lasal is a whole school. So we want to make sure that everything is fine as far as our team is concerned. Our gym, in fact, is undergoing renovation, so it won't still be open. If we start practicing, we will be practicing in a facility outside of the campus. So we will be observing very, very strict health and safety protocols.
I'm sure marami tayong maririnig tungkol dyan in the next few months, especially about the UAP's reopening. Dom, let me get to you. Let's start with the Governor's Cup that is coming up already. Everybody is excited. At the end of the month, we're hoping na mananatili tayo sa alert level 2 para hindi na maunsyame itong pagbabalik ng PBA. Dom, what is the significance of an import conference? Hindi lamang para sa liga, but I guess for the entire sporting landscape ng bansa.
Well, I think, with the imports, one thing that the import really does for any team is it fills a void or a lack that you needed to fill or you need to fill because your locals, you may not have that certain position. When you look at the history of the PBA, teams like Meralco always do good in this type of conference. When you look at the other teams also, it becomes a lot more competitive. And when the league is a lot more competitive, that means a lot more people are interested. There's a new flavor. There's always something new. In this day and age, people are always looking for something new, something that they can. Everybody's on their phones. Everybody's looking at, okay, what's happening now? Minute by minute, hour by hour, there's something new. There's something that you want to look forward to. And the significance of it is it brings also, I feel, some normalcy, because you have now foreigners coming into the country and playing in the league, and it's good signs of after 20-21 months that we are going back to some sort of normalcy.
All right, well, that's true. Alam mo, of course, iba yung bago ang putahe. Kahit naman tayo, pag kumakain tayo, ayaw natin laging adobo ang kinakain. No?
Correct.
Good to see bago mga mukha, although they are not necessarily new, but marami nagbabalik ng mga imports. And Quinito, I'd like to get to that. We have some terrific imports coming in, and of course, a legit NBA star that's coming in. Who do you like among the imports? Who do you like the fit with their team as of now?
It's going to be very, very difficult to say how these imports are going to gel with the teams. But, just in addition to what Dominic was saying about our imports and bringing a new flavor, it's really for the fans. The last two conferences of the PBA were of all Filipino, and we haven't seen imports since 2019. So it's been a while. But yes, they are filling this void. And yes, it's really for the fans. I think the fans are going to be treated to a very nice roster of imports. As you mentioned, there will be new faces, there will be old faces. Brownlee, of course, is going to be the yardstick. But as you mentioned, there is one standout among the new faces. Shabazz Muhammad is playing for Meralco. He's a first-round draftee of the NBA, one of several NBA first-rounders who have played, who have PBA credentials. So, it's going to be very exciting. We have Brandon Brown is going to be coming back. You remember that he averaged over 30 points when he played for Phoenix as a replacement for Eugene Phelps a few years back. Now he's going to be playing for San Miguel Beer. So, Paul Harris, for instance, you remember him. He played for TNT. He played that one game for Ginebra back in 2016.
Yeah.
And then he got injured. He was replaced by Brownlee. That was the opening that Brownlee needed for him to be able to play. And Paul Harris has a tremendous history in PBA, and he's coming back.
Magaling yan.
Henry Walker, a proven NBA veteran. He's also played many years in the PBA, so he's coming back as well. So maganda, marami mga coming back, and marami din mga new faces.
Maaga pa, alam ko, Quinito and Dom, not to say, anong mangyayari dito sa Governor's Cup. But, this early, you have a feel, sa tagal na pinapanood ninyo ang PBA. Dom, aside from Ginebra, alam naman natin, Ginebra is a given. Pag babalik si Brownlee, parang inililista mo na yung finals para sa Ginebra. And it's always disappointing if they don't make the finals. But outside of Ginebra, who do you like right now, especially with the imports that are coming in?
I think you gotta love TNT just because of what happened in the All Filipino Conference, and that this team is the core, the nucleus is solid, and I think that is very key. End of the day, the players will play much better once they feel that the imports can bring them to the promised land, and that's the big advantage of Barangay Ginebra, because they have Brownlee and they've won championships, and because he can play different positions. So whoever is injured, or if there may be trades, or there may be movements here and there, we've been hearing a lot of different news of players maybe being traded or moving out. Brownlee can now settle everything and just be able to play in the system of Coach Tim. But you're looking at TNT, you're looking at Meralco. Like I said, historically, Meralco is a team that does well in this conference, and then with their import, a first rounder in the NBA, that's huge. But you got to look at the other imports as well. Quinito mentioned these imports, but you look at KJ McDaniels and you look at Mackenzie Moore. Mackenzie Moore, I had pretty much an experience with him when he was playing for Mighty, and this guy is really good. And he's a type of player that you if you allow him to really show his skill, he can be so impressive in the PBA.
Well, talking about all of these players and of course the trades that are happening, Quinito, alam natin na na-trade na si Arwind, and there is news na even Alex Cabagnot is on his way out of that San Miguel Beer lineup. isa sa mga bagay na pinupulsuhan namin sa show is, panahon na ba para buwagin yung Death 5 ng San Miguel? What is your take on that?
I feel that San Miguel really wants to get a little younger. Although they got Vic Manuel, who's over 30, he's 34. He's younger than Arwind Santos, who's 40. But they're also bringing in guys like maybe Simon and Ciso from Terra Firma, and Alex Cabagnot may be on his way out. So you have to appreciate the fact that a team like San Miguel wants to stay on top. So you can't be stagnant in this league. No? If you didn't do well in the previous conference, make some moves. I mean, Northport, Terra Firma, Blackwater, these teams really need to be shuffling their players, because if you didn't do well in the previous conference, do something about it, man. I think you have to appreciate that San Miguel is doing something about it. Some people are saying, are these lopsided trades? Well, it remains to be seen. I have faith and trust in the PBA trade committee that's looking over these things. I have my own feelings. I think there are some trades that I feel parang hindi masyadong fair. But at the end of the day, we'll just see what the outcome will be. For instance, I feel that trade of Onwubere for Art de la Cruz. I don't know about that. Started 12 out of 13 games in the last conference. He averaged over 9 points a game. Art de la Cruz didn't even play in the last conference. He played 5 games in the bubble conference. But you remember that Art de la Cruz came in with outstanding potentials, and he averaged once 14 points a game for Blackwater. If you look at his career statistics of about 9 points, it almost equals what Onwubere did in the last conference. So, you might be able to say that, mukha naman fair ito. But then again, I wanted to see more of De La Cruz last conference. We didn't see anything from De La Cruz. So, I feel a little heavy that parang, I don't know about this trade. But then, I guess the committee knows what it's doing. So, let's see how it goes.
Alam naman natin kung gaano kahirap yan. And at the end of the day, minsan, ang tanong dyan kung gusto ng team na nagtitrade, bakit naman tayo questionin natin yung decision nila? Because that is their decision. And of course, that's where really the fans come in and say, there's something wrong with the direction of that team. But again, that's not for us to judge. We can be fans and say that's a bad trade. And I also have my own misgivings about that trade. I think Art de la Cruz, an injured player, maybe dapat na idagdagan ng kahit na isang klase ng pick, maybe a second rounder, maybe a role player, just to get this thing even. But again, it's all a matter of trying to assess kung nasaan ka
Yeah. But, and also, if you look at the dynamics of that particular trade, you've got Onwubere, who is a classic 4 player, although he did play some 5 filling in for Slaughter for Northport. No? But now Northport has Arwind Santos, who's going to be a 4 guy for them. So parang sayang din kung nandun si Arwind, nandun si Onwubere, mawawala din yung mga minuto na binigay ni Onwubere last conference. So, if you look at it that way, baka nga, it makes sense. So you'll never know. There are always 2 sides to a coin. We can debate and we can talk about it, but the nice thing about it is that teams are moving. Northport is moving, San Miguel is moving, Terra Firma is moving, Blackwater brought in JV Casio. Some people are saying, matanda na si JV Casio, but that team needs stability. And they can't seem to have that closing punch to be able to nail down a win. And I mean, they were disastrous last conference. So they have a new coach. So maganda yung may nangyayari. What I really don't like is if a team just sits on its ass and stays stagnant. We want teams to be dynamic.
We like narratives in this league. Dom, what do you think will Onwubere's role be with Barangay Ginebra? We know what his talents are, his skills are, but isn't that team, is he going to be a good fit for Coach Tim Con?
That's exactly what I was going to say. We were focusing on Northport, right? What they were getting. But the question is, it seems like Barangay Ginebra's the winner in the trade. But the question is, will he be a good fit? I mean, we've seen so many players with great credentials. When they move to that new team, all of a sudden, it's not what you expected. All right? So it's going to be interesting because you have 3 tall guys there. You have Japet, you have Stan Hardinger, you have him. You have the young guys as well. So what kind of position, what number of minutes will he be playing. We know, though, that Coach Tim is one of the most patient coaches, and he will be able to teach him and his coaching staff be able to teach Sidney Onubere how to play within that system that they want. The good thing is it's a move of going young again, and this guy has a lot of potential. So can you imagine if they're able to teach him to be able to maximize his potential? Obviously, the limit or the bar goes up. The question is, how long will it take? And will it be right away? Will the impact be right away? When you look at the history of Coach Tim, not necessarily. The guys who've only been really, who've gotten major minutes when they move to a Coach team are, the big stars like a Stanley Pringle, the Stan Hardingers. They will get the minutes right away. But if you're not that type of a big name, you may not get the big minutes, which will show the impact right away.
All right, let me move to another topic, and this is about the new rule ng PBA on field foreigners. Alam naman natin ang naging history niyang rule na yan back in the late 90s, and even when I came in early in the 2000s. That rule was really to cleanse the ranks of the PBA, and of course, also because of the clamor of the local players at that time na balansehin ang lineups ng mga koponan. Quinito, do you think that this is a good time and a perfect time to bring in this new rule na papasukin na ng mas madali ang field foreigners, and of course, dagdagan pa para talaga maging exciting ang mga koponan?
Well, Kom Noli, I've been lobbying for this for years. I think you know that. In my writings and even on the air, I've been saying, why will you require Bureau of Immigration and Department of Justice certifications when a player has a Philippine passport? Are you now questioning the legitimacy of a Philippine passport? You may have questioned it back in the 1990s when some of these Phil shams came into the picture. But in this day and age, wala nang doubt, wala nang questioning the authenticity of a Philippine passport. So I have actually been personally pushing this, and I've been talking with the PBA study committee that was headed by Vice Chairman Bobby Rosales, backed up by the complete board. And Commissioner Willie, of course, very open-minded. He has also been pushing for this. Finally, the decision came through. And I felt that the decision came in because of what happened to Jason Brickman, what happened to Jeremiah Gray, and Brandon Ganuelos Rosser in the last draft, when they were not able to come in because they had Philippine passports, pero wala silang BI at saka DOJ. Para naman hindi fair, no? Tyrus Hill was another victim of that rule, but that has changed now. Not only that, now the limit for a field foreigner in a team has been increased from 5 to 7, and that allows also more flexibility for the teams. And this is also in consonance with what is in the Philippine Constitution. Someone who has Filipino citizenship should enjoy the privileges and rights of any Filipino citizen. And there is already a restriction of 5. Now the restriction is up to 7. There is still a restriction, but at least naman nadagdagan yung 5 to 7.
All right. Well, yung number na yon, Dom, do you think that is good, fair, and will it not have any impact on the local players na dinidevelop naman natin dito? Just like the issues that were raised before. Do you think that hindi na yan issue ngayon?
I think, I was in that time. I was exactly in that time during the Phil Shams.
Ito nga yung dapat na-draft ni Dom.
Diba? I mean, that was the time. Yeah, that was the time. No, I mean, all of a sudden, right, guys coming in 6'5", 6'7", may not be legitimate Filipino, and that took away opportunities from us. Yes, that time that was the issue. Now it's a different issue. Globalization. The world is a lot smaller right now, and for you to be able to compete, you got to be exposed. And with field foreigners coming in, there are pros and cons to it. But I think end of the day, you just have to adapt because the world is small because of the internet. You look at how things are moving, even with crypto. People are talking about the metaverse. All of these things are a reality, and it's in the near future. And basketball and in the sports industry, the more competition that you bring in to the locals, the better we will be. Because now the yardstick goes up. Yes, it will affect initially, But you have to look at it that players have been able to evolve also. You got to remember, in the 90s, if you could dribble with your left hand, that would be okay already for a big man. But now, di ba, it has transition. You have to you have to be able to have handles, shoot from the outside. It's all about evolution. It's all about being dynamic, and it is a reality that we are faced in the entire world.
Tama yan. Well, of course, lumiliit na ang mundo and obviously, dumadami naman ang player. And that's why this is my next question, Quinito. Ngayon, meron na tayong mas maraming feel foreign, ang daming magagaling na local na pumapasok and they're getting their chances also abroad. Now we're also talking about Asian imports na pinag-aaralan na and open ang PBA na ibalik yung Asian imports na sinimulan ni Commissioner Chito back in his time. No? So, is it time, sa dami ng players, is it time for the PBA to expand?
Well, as far as Asian imports are concerned, the PBA tried this in 2 conferences. And I remember at that time, the PBA chairman was Pato Gregorio.
That's right.
This was his idea. But unfortunately, the experience with Asian imports was not too good. Because, first of all, there was a limitation of height. And secondly, they were taking away directly an opportunity for a Filipino player. And this was a foreigner, not a Phil foreigner. So, hindi masyado nabigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga Asian imports to shine. And they also had a difficulty fitting in the style of play in the PBA. They were coming in from different leagues. And in their particular domestic leagues, ibang style ng laro. So hindi maganda yung naging experience. But again, in answer to that question about the limit and whether it's taking away jobs from Filipinos, as you mentioned, there are now opportunities for Filipinos to play overseas. So number one, I think it addresses it. If there are more locals who are going overseas, now there are more opportunities for Phil foreigners to come in and fill in the vacuum. And that's one. Number two, I think the teams or the PBA as a whole is now anticipating the upcoming competition in the EASL, and this is going to be major. There will be a major announcement from the EASL on December 1st, and you're the first one to hear about this in any media platform. There will be a major announcement by the EASL on December 1st, and the PBA is committed. Has signed an agreement with the PBA and the EASL, and allowing more Phil foreigners to boost the level of capacity and capability and ability of each team will give PBA teams really a big opportunity and a big chance to vie for that $1 million first prize in the EASL.
Well, Dom, talking about the EASL, alam natin ang magiging trend dyan, there will be now, this will open the doors of basketball for the PBA to compete against other leagues. And as you were talking about globalization, yan na talaga inclusivity, it has become a byword now in basketball. How much should the PBA leverage on this, number one? And number two, because of meron pa tayong FIBA windows, meron pa tayong mga international tournaments, and of course our conferences. Is it time to bring back talaga yung 2-conference format? Kasi mukhang masyado na masikip ang mundo ng PBA.
I honestly think a 2-conference format should work better as a whole. When you look at it, why? Because it gives players time to be able to you really get adjusted. And also, like you said, there's Gilas, and then there's the other leagues, and then it also people and the players will need time to rest and recuperate and get stronger. So I think a 2-conference format, obviously kailangan pag-aralan yan and see kung paano yung maganda, not just for the players, not just for the league, but even for the fans and as a whole, as an industry. The EASL, I really feel, gives opportunities to even guys who are not part of the Gilas program. You gotta remember that the Gilas program, it is prestige to be part of it. And, you look at everybody that's been part of Gilas, when they come back to the PBA, the confidence is much higher. They've definitely improved. It always opens their eyes. And now, when you're able to go out to play in this type of setting in the EASL, mag-iiba, sigurado, gaganda, gagaling yung ating mga players. And it's now open to more. And I think end of the day, more opportunities for the players to play out there, to be able to play against Asians or the entire world. Actually, it is something that you can bring to your game, and you can bring as a whole to the country because of that experience. So I think it is definitely a step in the right direction to open it up, because it's time. It's just how the world is moving. We cannot get left behind.
Well, iintayin natin yung announcement na sinasabi ni Quinito. Sana dito na lang
Baka
yan.
pwede niyang sabihan na, di ba? Baka may alam na siya.
Power and play eh. Kasi yung play TV, pwede naman yung sabay eh, di ba, Quinito?
Malalaman din natin.
Oh, let me leave it at that. Oh, sige, go ahead, Quinito. Before I ask you.
About the 2 or 3 conference format, I understand that there is a business decision behind this, because may commitment ang PBA to the different franchises to play a certain minimum number of games, and that's for commercial purposes. No, you need to be able to give them media mileage. Kanya 3 conferences, because now you can have longer conferences. You can have longer conferences.
We did that during my term, and it was the same number of games. It was the same number of games in 3 conferences. We made sure na hindi kami because that was approved also by the board.
I think that's one. Yeah, I think that's one consideration. No? You can't also have too long a particular conference because of the factor that mapapagod din yung player. So maganda yung meron din silang breaks. Yung number 2 is you give imports a different flavor. Hindi ba? Yung imports natin, one will be 6'5", the other one will be unlimited height. So, it's a different flavor. But, at the end of the day, it really is a business decision, and whether it's something that the fans would like. Because kung hahabaan mo din yung isang particular conference, mapapagod din yung player. Baka magsawa din yung mga fans, no? Because they're waiting too long. So, 3 finals is always better to play in terms of attendance than 2 finals. And we all know that for every finals, dun tataas yung ratings ng PBA. So, again, it's a business consideration. Kung 3 finals, di ba, magandang ratings kasi sa 2 finals. But, you really have to factor in kung ano yung mga commitments ng PBA. Ngayon, meron din commitment sa EASL, meron din FIBA, but maybe that's also the reason kung bakit binubukas na ng PBA yung field foreigners. So mas maraming player na pwedeng makakuha, and local players may now be able to be lent to the Gilas program. So, it's a total picture yan eh. Yun ang pinag-aaralan ng PBA. And tayo, we're just onlookers. If you look at the composition of the PBA board, hahanga ka, because those guys are really, really smart cookies. So, I guess they know what they're doing.
All right. Well, aabangan natin yan, and of course, ang daming development, and we wish of course that everyone gets to enjoy basketball. Yun lang naman ang gusto natin. We enjoy our basketball, and we bring pride to this country. I have a lot of other topics that I wanted to get to. Yuka Sasodome and her impact in turning Japanese. Quinito, I wanted to ask, I had Gaballo a while ago, and the fight of Donaire. We'll have more time for that, I guess, in the next few episodes. But I'd like to thank you both for joining us today sa Power and Play. And we'll see you again soon dito sa ating show.
Thank you. Thank you, Kom Noli. Nice to see you, Dom.
Thank you, Kom. Thank you, Dean. Always a pleasure, guys. I hope I see you again. We can actually see each other physically soon. Kom, we can play again. I definitely enjoyed our game. I definitely enjoyed the game. And Dean, always follow you on your social media platforms. And great job.
Maraming salamat, mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan. The Dean, Quinito Henson, and of course, Dominic Uy, ang ating kaibigang veteran sports analyst. Wow, so many things to get to, so many things to take up, at marami pa po tayong pag-usapan dito sa Power and Play. When we return, makakausap natin ang commissioner ng MPBL, yung isa pang pro league. Ngayon ay professional na sila. Ano ba ang plano nila? At paano sila makakatulong sa larangan ng Philippine basketball? Magbabalik pa po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo. Alright mga kaibigan, nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Doon sa mga nag-aabang kay Yuka Saso, si Yuka po ay lumalaban sa Pelican Women's Championship. They just finished their second round and Yuka is only about 3 strokes behind. She's tied. Dikit-dikit ang laban na yun and she carded a very good score ng second round, a 64 to bring her up doon sa Pelican Women's Championship. Of course, pinag-usapan natin kanina yan. Sana patuloy po natin ipagdasal ang Filipino-Japanese na si Yuka Saso. Alright. Ang MPBL po, yung Maharlika Pilipinas Basketball League has decided to turn pro. Ano ba ang impact nito sa kanilang mga players, sa kanilang liga, and of course sa Philippine basketball? Nakausap po natin nung isang gabi, walang iba kundi ang PBA legend, Captain Marbel, na ngayon ay commissioner ng MPBL, si Kenneth Duremdes. Panoorin po niyo to. Sa ating we put the spotlight on Kenneth Captain Marbel Duremdes. Ken, alam ko na bago tayo magtanungan dahil ang daming balita tungkol sa MPBL ngayon at talagang maraming nangyayari sa liga. Pero bago yan, 4 na taong ka ng commissioner ng MPBL, Commissioner Kenneth, kamusta ba ang buhay commissioner at lalong-lalo na dito sa panahon ng pandemya?
Unang-una at ako'y natuto at nakita ulit tayo, Idol Kom, no? At sa pangalawang pagkataon, naging guest mo ulit ako at siyempre masayang-masaya. 4 years na nga tayo dito sa MPBL and ganun pa rin, no? As long as, again, sasabihin natin there's basketball, there's always a challenge for us na pagpatuloy natin kung anong itong pagbulan ng MPBL.
Well, maraming, of course, tao ang natututo sa leadership style mo, Commissioner Kenneth. And obviously, itong survival ng MPBL, malaking bagay ang iyong pamumuno. And talking about the MPBL, of course, ang balitang malaki is that nagdesisyon kayong maging professional league. Alam ko na matagal na parang hindi sumasangayon yung inyong founder, si Senator Manny Pacquiao, na maging professional ang MPBL. Bakit ngayon ay pumayag na kayong mag-turn pro ang liga?
We'll be testing the waters muna. We'll be testing the waters muna Kom Noli dito sa invitational tournament namin, no? Susubukan namin. We did this during pandemic, no? Majority of our players have turned pro already dun sa Chooks to Go 3x3, NBL, and Bismin. So, titingnan namin tong invitational and dito rin sa mga preseason namin, titingnan namin. So, yun muna kami dito muna kami sa invitational.
Ano ang rason, Kom, kung bakit iniisip ninyo mag-professional?
Nakikita namin siguro na ang basketball kasi papunta na doon to the highest level eh. So, dumadami na rin ng players na lumalaro sa ibang bansa. So, it's time siguro to level up the quality and the status of the league, no? Dahil competitive na lahat ng leagues eh. Not only just in the Philippines but also globally, especially in Japan. So kailan makahabol tayo din.
Well, ako, obviously, I like the move. Marami makikinabang and of course, magkakaroon ng panibagong itsura ang MPBL. Ito ba nai-apply ninyo sa GAB already, sa Games and Amusement Board? At ito ba meron ng approval, Commissioner?
Yes, Chooks to Go, dahil silang persons operation, silang nakikiusap ngayon directly dito sa GAB and very positive naman ang GAB para sa atin dahil alam din nila na magpapasko na, 2 taon na tayong bakante, mga players natin kukonti ang teams, kukonting liga pa sa Pilipinas kahit sabihin mong maraming na dahil yung mga players pa rin napakarami. So kailangan na talaga nating mabigyan ng trabaho itong mga players natin.
kamusta yung mga players? Kasi ito naman, I just want to find out, sila ba ay patuloy na nabibigyan ng kanilang mga sahod o yung kanilang mga salaries sa kanilang mga teams, or nagkaroon ba ng kumbaga termination ng mga contracts at panibago na naman ang pilian ng mga teams?
Okay, nung nagka-pandemic tayo, most of the teams kasi Kom Noli is ang nire-render lang nila na services for the players is mag 10 months lang. So pag na-eliminate na yung mga teams early, hanggang dun lang talaga. Except for those teams na umang finals, division finals, and meron din naman teams na 2 to 3 players na na-maintain nila. It's maybe
Okay.
because gusto nila yung maging core yun ng team nila until now na sa kanila pa rin.
Oo. Well, of course. And also because hindi naman kayo professional, so meron talaga kayong mga sariling patakaran in your league, no? But obviously, those things may change ngayon na kayo ay magpo-professionalize. But before I get to that, Kom Kenneth, napabalita din na kayo ay hihingi ng approval or accreditation ng FIBA, no? Yung World Governing Body ng basketball. Totoo pa to? At bakit nyo gustong makakuha ng accreditation ng FIBA?
Yes, Kom Noli, it's true, no? Actually, FIBA will be watching the invitational tournament. Well, of course, we will follow FIBA rules. Yes, if all goes well, we hope to send teams to FIBA international club tournaments. That's the plan for the future. So, maganda na sa to kung makita nila na ang level of basketball dito, playing basketball sa atin is tumataas na rin. So, they'll be watching. Nandyan sila sa itong invitational tournament natin.
Very interesting. That is a new development na talagang kasapi o kasama ang FIBA dito sa invitational na gaganapin sa Disyembre. Pero does that mean also, Commissioner, na kayo ay magmimiyembro na rin ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas? Kasi ang FIBA, ang kanilang accredited sports or federation dito ay of course ang SBP. And lahat ng liga ay dumadaan sa National Federation bago makarating sa FIBA. So does that mean na kayo ay mag-a-apply na rin para maging miyembro ng SBP?
Well, if again, kung yan ang magiging one of the regulations of the FIBA World Basketball, doon na rin talaga pupunta yan. Pero sa ngayon, syempre, we're taking our time dito sa invitational. Kung ano mang magandang makita ng FIBA dito, well, doon tayo.
You have 13 teams committed already para sa season ng MPBL. Ito bang mga koponan na to? Kasi alam natin, pag professional, katulad ng PBA, katulad ng NBA, yung mga teams na yun ay exclusive doon sa ligang yon, no? Sa professional league na yon. Ito bang mga koponan ninyo will be exclusive to the MPBL? Hindi sila pwedeng, mamangka ng dalawang ilog na maglalaro sila sa Vismin Cup o maglalaro sila sa ibang liga? Exclusive lang ba yan para sa MPBL?
Actually, Kom Noli, 22 teams na nag-commit for this invitational tournament namin sa December.
Oh, wow.
December
Good news,
11, 22 teams na. So, yes. With regards doon sa mga teams na naglalaro sa Vismin and Field Basket, way before pa, nagpalabas na tayo ng memorandum na, again, dahil nga yung mga players talaga kailangan ng konting trabaho. So, pinayagan natin sila ng one time lang as guest team sa mga liga na yon.
Okay. So, hindi naman kayo seloso. Ika nga na pwede muna maglaro. But eventually, ang ibig ba sabihin ko, eventually, dahil one time lang yan, dapat MPBL lang sila.
Well, yung commitment naman nila sa MPBL is right from the beginning nung ginawa natin itong liga. And kung gagawa another team nila nun sa ibang liga, it's fine with us as long as, again, kung committed talaga sila dito sa ating liga, welcome na welcome pa rin talaga sila. Dahil alam natin, some of them are the original members of MPBL. Some teams, yung ibang teams. Isa sa mga original.
Ito ba mga laro ng invitational ay mapapanood sa TV, Commissioner Ken?
Yes, we're looking at talaga na ma-view tayo sa TV. Yung partner natin na Chooks, exerting all of the efforts na mapanood tayo sa TV. Hopefully, hopefully na may palabas talaga sa TV, kahit lang naman siguro ilang games para again, masilayan ulit tayo ng mga kababayan natin sa mga probinsya.
Pero ngayon, talagang operational na ang partnership. Anong ibig sabihin nung sila na ang in charge ng operations, Kenneth?
Well, unang-una, again, Kom Noli, no, ang maganda dito is nagkaroon ng partner si Sir Manny and si Sir Ronald Mascareñas, na pag-isipan nila na talagang yung common goal ng dalawang ito pareho, and magiging operations, lahat ng operations talaga si Chooks na mag-ano sa MPBL. That includes media, lahat, TV, production, technical, world class to ang magpatakbo dahil nakita natin doon sa 3x3 nila, and of course we're expecting also na kaya din nila gawin ito sa 5-on-5. So nakita natin kung paano sila mag-handle ng mga tournaments like their own 3x3.
Okay, so yun ay yung I guess yung staging of the games, yung venue at yung marketing side at ng liga. Pero ano ang mananatiling role ng Office of the Commissioner, Commissioner Ken? Ano ang primary naman na responsibility ng side ninyo?
Sa MPBL, same pa rin siya, no? Same mo kung ano yung how it works before, no? Overall supervision pa rin ng MPBL, especially me, the Commissioner of the League. Tayo pa rin magpapatakbo. But doon lang sa operational side, si Chooks ang talagang magpapatakbo dahil sa kanila inatasan ni Senator Manny yung role na yon, mainly because dahil naniwala si Senator na world class nga tong pag-handle ng Chooks sa kanilang 3x3, and alam ni Senator na we're in good hands with Chooks.
Ang malaking napag-uusapan din ngayon ay yung mga bago ninyong rules pagdating sa player eligibility. Yung halimbawa, yung Phil Foreign na nung araw ay may mga limitations kayo, hindi lamang sa tangkad, kung hindi sa dami, ngayon ay pinapayagan na ninyo. Ano ang thinking dyan na at nagpalit ng inyong mga rules ng liga?
Alam mo, Kom Noli, matagal na rin natin pinag-iisipan yan, restrictions sa field foreign. Kaya nga sinasabi natin, yung MPBL, ang liga ng bawat Pilipino. Kaya ngayon, it's time to bring our field foreign athletes home to the MPBL. Kumbaga, dito na sila. Kumbaga, dumadami ng mga field foreign na athletes natin sa ibang bansa. So, subukan natin dito sa invitational and sa upcoming preseason natin. So, marami ng chances ang mga field foreign natin na mapaglaro ang mga liga dito sa Pilipinas.
In other words, ang pag-iisip ba ngayon ng MPBL ay Pilipino naman itong mga ito eh. Bakit natin babawalan sila, pagbabawalan o lilimitan ang dami ng naglalaro since sila naman ay may dugong Pilipino, at sabi mo nga, ito ay liga para sa Pilipino at ng Pilipino. So, yan ba ang thinking ng MPBL, Ken?
Yes, correct, Kom Noli. Dahil nung una kasi, nung nagsimula tayo sa MPBL, inumpisan pa lang natin, ini-establish muna natin yung mga homegrown natin, no? Magkaroon ng chance din. Dahil kung sabayan natin kagad sila ng field foreign na walang limit, hindi na sila mabigyan ng chance. So ngayon, sa 4th season na tayo, nakikita natin na pwede na ito makapagsabayan kahit homegrown sa mga field foreign natin. Titingnan natin. So, dumadami na talaga sila from abroad na gustong umuwi na at magkaroon ng kabuhayan. Alam mo, yung kagaya nun, kung isa ka sa pinagmamalaki ng LGU mo, malaking bagay din yon. So,
Oo.
time to, now is the time to bring them home.
Ika nga, iba naman yung naglalaro para sa bayan ng iyong magulang at iba rin naman yung ikaw ang nagre-represento. Now, meron kayong bagong rule na passport only, okay na kayo. Are you concerned na ito ay maaabuso or meron kayong mga safeguards na ilalagay, Commissioner?
Sa ngayon lang naman, dito lang muna yan siya sa, dahil bago yan siya, titingnan muna namin again dito sa invitational.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, dito sa invitational, Kom, meron ng feel foreign na maglalaro? Yung mga teams
Yes,
pwede na...
yes. Yes, actually pwede na sila. Kaya nga, ito yung ano namin, ito yung testing namin na kung yung paging pro ng liga and yung mga pag-imbita ng mga feel foreign na walang limit. So, tingnan natin kung talagang ikasasaya, ikagaganda, ikabubuti na, why not? Dahil again, after all, mga Pilipino talaga yan sila na need to be here and play for their respective LGUs.
Ilan ang papayagan ninyo per team?
That's going to be discussed pa with the operations with Chooks dahil siyempre bago rin siya, no? Bago rin. And alam pa rin natin yun, ang pandemic, hindi naman basta-bastang makauwi ang mga yan. Oo, may mga restriction pang government natin. So, titingnan natin. But kung sinong makakuha, sinong magkaroon kagad ng mga feel foreign, then okay yun. Okay yan.
Alright. Pati ex-pros at saka home, ngayon wala na rin kayo restrictions sa dami ng mga ex-pros na nawalan ng trabaho. Of course, alam natin na sa batch na pumapasok sa PBA, meron ding batch na lumalabas dahil hindi naman pwedeng parami ang player ng isang team at limitado ang dami ng team. So, wala na rin kayo limitation dyan kahit ilan at kahit anong edad pwedeng pumasok sa MPBL?
Correct, Kom Noli, dahil alam natin yung pro team natin ngayon na which is the PBA, 12 teams lang. Hindi na rin talaga dumadami. Marami ng players sa Pilipinas. Dadagdagan mo pa ng feel foreign. So MPBL again is here to accommodate those players, no? Yan naman ang naging role ng MPBL since na nag-establish kami dahil lahat ng makikita na gumagaling, umakyat. Lahat naman nung medyo hindi na pinapalad doon sa PBA, buwababa sa amin. But this time, we will just, instead of ex-pro, we will call it ex-PBA.
Ex-PBA. All right. Well, are you confident, Commissioner, na itong pagpasok ng feel foreign, pagdami ng ex-pro, and of course, yung patuloy na paghahanap nyo ng talent dyan sa probinsya, sa mga region, sa LGU, will improve the quality ng mga laro ng MPBL?
Yes, definitely. It will make a big help to the players, especially yung mga homegrown, no, yung mga galing ng probinsya. Dahil this time, talagang kailangan nila talagang galingan yung paglalaro nila dahil itong mga feel foreign talaga, alam natin, may advantage talaga dito sa mga locals. So, yun na yung magiging target ng mga locals natin kung paano nila sabayan ng mga feel foreign.
Alright. Pinag-uusapan natin yung mga plano nyo moving forward. Nabanggit mo nga yung invitational na napalathala ay magsisimula sa December. Itong taon na to. Unang-una, ang tanong ba?
December 11.
December 11, alright. Ito ba ay under a bubble, semi-bubble? Ano ang structure na gagawin ninyo, Commissioner?
Parang closed circuit lang muna tayo siguro dahil medyo short ang preparation. Basta ang pinaka-main goal talaga namin ng MPBL and Chooks to Go dito is again, mabigyan natin ng konting kasayahan ng pamasko ang mga players natin. Magpapasko na after 2 years na wala tayong palaro.
Mga
So
Mhm.
ito na yung ito na yung pamasko natin sa alam natin na nag-struggle talaga ng mga players natin sa Pilipinas with this pandemic. So ito na yung
Correct.
tamang pagkakataon, no? Nagkaroon tayo ng konting patience, na timing tayo nag-level 2 ang NCR, na medyo inaalaw na ng government. So tama-tama lang, and we'll try our best na maitawid to para lang naman sa 2022 hindi ma-zero yung mga players natin. Magkakaroon na sila ng magandang Pasko.
Napakaganda nung hangarin na yan. And of course, lahat ng tao ay kailangan ng hanap buhay. And obviously, itong pagsisimula ng MPBL is good news for many of our professional players. Vaccination will be required by the league, Commissioner?
Yes, Kom Noli, vaccination will be required. And
Okay.
lahat ng mga safety and lahat ng mga protocols, guidelines, talagang susundin pa rin natin.
Okay. All right. I have a few questions left bago kita bitawan. I cannot, hindi ko pwedeng hindi ito tanungin sa iyo dahil ito ay nangyari nung nakaraan sa Vismin Super Cup. And of course, may mga bali-balita na nangyari before tungkol din sa MPBL. Yung game fixing situation, yung mga problemang yan, Commissioner, how are you addressing that? At ano ang mga measures na ilalagay mo at ng iyong ng troops to go para siguraduhin hindi na yan magiging kahit na usapin man lang dyan sa MPBL?
Well, again, one of the advantage right now is magiging partner natin yung GAB. So lahat ng monitoring will be under GAB. So meron ng governing body na titingin dyan. But going back dun sa nagawa natin before sa mga game fixings na yan, Kom Noli, actually yung mga kinasuhan natin ngayon is lumabas na yung mga warrant nila. It means to show na seryoso talaga ang liga na to para sa mga game fixers, no? Yung mga players na involved dyan and sino-sino pa mga personalities dahil yan talaga ang ayaw ng ating CEO founder. So nagkaroon na ng I just hope na maging lesson sa lahat yan, no? They have to think 100 times, no, bago pasukin yan ng mga illegalities. Dahil yan ang sumisira sa basketball marami tayong mga kabataan pa na tumitingin sa inyo, sa mga players, sa mga ina-idolize. Kung pasukin na naman ng ganyan, medyo mabigat. But then again, with Gab is with us right now, mayroon tayong katuwang na dyan.
Very good. Alam mo, magandang balita yan. Ito po mga kaibigan, ang panayam natin with Commissioner Kenneth Duremdes ng MPBL. Again, talking about their plans, yung mga programa nila, and of course, yung pagiging professional league na po ng MPBL. Suportahan po natin lahat ng ating mga liga dahil yan po yung nagbibigay ng trabaho sa ating mga kababayan. Alright, bago po tayo magtapos, ito po yung ating pinupulsuhan ngayong araw na to. Dapat na bang buwagin? Dapat na bang buwagin ang Death 5 ng San Miguel Beermen? Yung pong 5 na na-trade na nga si Arwind, sabi nga nila si Kabagnot ay maaari nang matrade. Sabi ni Ninja sa Twitter, they had the run, time is up. Sabi niya gano'n, no? Sabi naman ni Juan Pablo Hani, laos na daw. Hindi naman. Magagaling pa rin yung mga player pero kailangan bumata. Mula kay Sutzut, ibigay niyo po si Coach Tim Cone sa SMB, magcha-champion pa yung Death 5 ng 3 taon. Alam mo si Coach Leo, ang dami na napatunayan and I'm sure kayang-kaya pa ni Coach Leo. Minalas nga lang dahil sa injuries, no? Mula naman kay Gilas or Bilas, naku kume, dead 5 na ngayon ang tawag dyan. Matagal na ko nang sinasabi na pasay na yung mga yan, ang age and injuries combined na mga na nag-decimate ang efficiency nila. But that's true. Tumatanda na talaga yung mga player na yan and ganun talaga ang buhay ng isang manlalaro. Mula kay Buenroy, Thunders prone to injuries, tama na, naghihintay na lang ng Akinse. Hindi naman. Trabaho pa rin po yan. Spencer, sabi niya, Coach, dapat... Hindi naman. Si Coach Leo is doing a terrific job sa San Miguel. Kahit ano pong sabihin natin, kampiyon yan ng PBA. Mula kay Joseph Montalan, sabi niya, dapat hindi tinitrade si Santos, haligi siya ng SMB. Well, marami pong kuro-kuro at patuloy pong pag-uusapan habang nagmamasid tayo sa PBA. Gusto ko lang pang batiin ang lahat ng mga nakikinig sa atin before we go. Si Dodge Castro mula sa Thailand. Si Ara Jill Barito, yung dati nating makeup artist, ay nagpapabati sa kanyang ate ng happy birthday. Maraming salamat. And of course, Ronnie Aligaw mula sa Kalinga Province. Naku, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. At dyan po nagtatapos muli ang ating programa ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Marami pong salamat sa inyong patuloy na suporta at sa inyong patuloy pong pagtaguyod sa Power and Play. Lagi po nating sinasabi tuwing Sabado ng umaga, bawal ang masungit. And of course, sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power! More play.